Hi, I'm Mike Winkler, and I'm the Principal Managing Broker for Coldwell Banker Bain in Issaquah, Washington.
And I'm E.J. Bowles. I'm the Principal Managing Broker for Coldwell Banker Bain on Mercer Island, Washington.
EJ, in every video blog post that we start, I try and make a segue from the prior post. And the fact is that we talk about title and earnest money and escrow and ethics and you name it. And the fact of the matter is, all of it is under the presumption that there's some level of business.
That's correct.
And we need to talk about business planning so you can have business.
That's right. And so at the risk of maybe putting some of you to sleep out there, we're going to talk about the dilemma that really exists around business planning, because everybody knows that it's common knowledge, conventional wisdom, that if you're in business, you have to have some sort of a plan. And yet, you'd be surprised how many real estate brokers really don't use their business plan, if they even have one.
Well, in fact, if you went into a venture capital firm or to a bank with the greatest idea that would upstart Google even, but you went in without a plan, you would get nothing. And unfortunately, that's what a lot of brokers get, is nothing, because they don't plan well.
Exactly.
And EJ, you and I teach the Agent Development Series, which includes business planning, organizational management, a number of topics, both real estate and non-real estate related. And in every class, we ask how many folks in the class have a business plan that they rely on, update, and use on a regular basis. And sadly, the answer is less than 20%.
That's right. And really, the thing that's interesting about this, and where it's a bit of a dilemma, is that all organizations teach business planning. And so it's not like brokers and employees aren't being exposed to the business plan idea. It's out there everywhere. And yet what we find is too often the business plan is produced by the broker, and maybe because it was forced on them by a manager. And then that business plan is put into a drawer and it's never looked at again. So kind of missing the whole point. But as Mike said, less than 20% of the time are people really producing business plans and using them.
And that's because they want to sell houses and talk to people.
Exactly.
And interestingly, in that vein, a broker will get a buyer, and the buyer will say, I'm looking for, and they'll put out the characteristics of the house that they want. And the broker will methodically search the MLS and use their knowledge of the market area, and they will plot out a map of where to go for that particular day tour, if you will, of homes. And it's perfect. I mean, it's a well thought out plan. Everything's in relation to to the schools, to the facilities, to employers, everything. And oftentimes they'll use a GPS. And EJ, a business plan is your GPS to success.
Absolutely.
It's a critical factor. And in fact, here at Coldwell Banker Bain, we have one plan in particular that is 31 pages. That's literally a fill in the blank. It's a GPS to business planning success, because it's so simple to do, and yet brokers find it tedious, tiresome, cumbersome, process laden, and they, as a result, if they start it, they don't finish it, and if they complete it, they don't use it.
That's correct. It's probably one of the best classic plans I've ever seen, but my experience is that not a lot of people use it. Now, we do have other forms of business plans that we use at Coldwell Banker Bain. We have a couple that are 1 and 2 pages long. We have way different approaches to them. One of the plans we use at Mercer Island we call the nonlinear plan, because it really starts, it's really simply goal-oriented with a few strategic pieces thrown in, but really lacks a lot of detail, and agents seem to like it. So there are different approaches to business planning, and at Bain we do have basically something for everybody in that regard.
So if you're looking for business planning, you can certainly use the meetup feature and contact EJ and myself, and we'll be happy to sit down with you and go through it. But the key to business planning is to write one, whether it's on a piece of paper, a cocktail napkin, or a formatted business plan. It's always intended to be a living document, because after all, life happens and things occur that are unforeseen, whether it's accidents, health issues, financial issues, family issues. And so the great thing about a business plan, and I think one of the reasons that most of us really don't like them, is that they are a level of accountability to ourselves that make it challenging. And I think if you look at it as a document that you can, it's kind of like golf. You compete with yourself.
Yep.
And so if you use it as a way to just gauge your activities, and frankly to look at it and say, okay, what's working and what's not, that's another great tool of the business plan, because in it should be your marketing, advertising, how you do social media, the works. And so don't be afraid of a business plan. Adopt one, engage with it, and use it regularly, and you will be successful.
Well said. I'm EJ Bolt.
I'm Mike Winkler. Till next time.